Yo, welcome back to the Grady Podcast, talking about all things Grady. How's it going today, Grady?
I have not heard from Grady since a long time before we did a podcast.
Same.
So, and it's been almost a month since we've done a podcast.
Wow, the Raptors are getting murdered.
Well, when did we release episode 25?
Like December 15th, probably.
Yeah, so almost a month is a bit strong, but not that strong. Welcome back at long last to Throwing from the One.
Hello.
AKA Grady Podcast. We were all home and away from Throwing from the One studios, aka the couch, for a couple weeks, and a lot of stuff has happened. The NFL playoffs are upon us.
Yes.
The Patriots secured the 2 seed.
Somehow.
The Seahawks are playing the Cowboys in a wild card game Saturday. Sorry, not tomorrow. We're here on a Thursday, January the 3rd. Yeah.
2019.
Yep. Brand new year. First episode of the new year. So we've
New year, new cast.
We've sort of been around for a year now.
You've transitioned years.
Right. I mean, we've spread across 2 calendar years of dates.
Yep.
Feels good, man.
What episode number is this?
This is 26.
Whoa.
Yeah. Of Throwing from the One. By the way, like us on Facebook at Throwing from the One. Subscribe on YouTube. Throwing from the One podcast. Jeremy's on Instagram at JeremyTower65.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. He has a very solid post. 1 very solid post. 2 very solid posts. The Seahawks game, and what's the other one?
The U.S. Open.
Oh, yeah. They're two pretty good sports posts, actually, for Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'm at Doc Walk Official. If you're into it, I literally just post pictures of my truck. It's not for everybody. The succulent cam is balling now. We're only going to have 1 camera angle over here. We're back in 2D for the day, but it's like a very high quality visual stereo 2D.
Front and back.
Yeah. Anyway, this is sort of our NFL playoff primer and also a regular season recap.
Yep.
Right? So
Last couple weeks.
Yeah, but then there's also just the events of the last few weeks, which we
The end of season.
haven't had a chance to talk about, which was pretty eventful for both teams, the Patriots and Seahawks, that we focus
and
on
just
here.
in general.
Well, yeah, a lot of movement around the league and actually some big games, some of which were more entertaining than others, I felt, in the last couple weeks, but there's been a lot of like stuff on the line for sure. I don't know. What do you want to start with? One.
Pats. They're first on the list, Walk.
All right, we'll go and order the list and wrap up what's been a very weird regular season for the Patriots, from pretty much start to finish. They came out of the gates slow, which isn't entirely unusual for them, and then they continued to be slow through the entire season, pretty much. So they somehow, I forgot to look before the show, but they somehow finished like 4th in scoring offense or something, but it did not feel like that. I felt like on a week-to-week basis, they were like sometimes struggling to score points, and Tom Brady is, I mean, he had one of the things that make it weird are the things that they're usually consistent at were gone this year. Gronk was basically invisible throughout the entire season. Brady started making dumb mistakes about halfway through the season, and throughout the entire season wasn't consistently, excellent, which is what we've been used to. And the coaching staff, which ultimately comes down to Belichick because he micromanages and controls everything over there, was also inconsistent, which Usually, I mean, they'll have some weird play calling games, and they would hand the ball to LeGarrette Blount too often and stuff like that. But like this season, they would come these games where they come out and have 10 to 14 penalties in like 2 out of 3 games in a row. That's not what they do on dumb procedural stuff. Like Julian Edelman is going to take 4 penalties in a game. Illegal formation,
happened?
yeah.
Nice.
He got an illegal formation penalty, an offsides, and an unnecessary roughness in 1 week. I'm pretty sure. And I mean, he got fined $62,000 for unnecessary roughness in 1 week.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So discipline has been an issue on the team this year, I feel. In some ways, they're still a good team for sure, especially, and I feel like they have as good a chance as anyone to get out of the AFC basically. But I think that speaks to what I've talked about all year, which is the fact that really everyone is flawed and beatable. And the Chargers are probably the most complete team in the AFC, and they're scary to me, but they're the Chargers. Exactly. They're losers, ultimately.
Ouch.
Theoretically speaking. Or I guess, I don't know. The historical context is...
They really needed to beat... We gave them the chance that they just could have beat the Ravens. They would have been the 1 seed.
Well, and that's... The weird thing, though, is like... They're not even... They barely even have a home, so who cares?
Well, it's not about the home. It's about the bye.
Well, you're right. I forget that. Wow, yeah. See, that's the Patriots. So this is... The Patriots at 11-5 are the 2 seed going into the playoffs. So, weird, bad season for them by their standards ultimately, but they're the 2 seed. And, Kansas City, the 1, is really the only team that I look at and say they probably have a little bit better chance than the Patriots coming out of the AFC.
But they're the Chiefs.
No. So it's basically even, man. The NFC teams...
If they end up getting the Chargers in the divisional round.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. That's a battle. And then it's 2 battles in a row going into the championship.
The Ravens could beat them, though, too, because, I mean...
The Ravens are also dangerous, but I don't think they're dangerous.
They're not complete enough. I've seen people putting them as high as like 3 in the power rankings.
So
it upsets me.
I think the Ravens can get hot enough to win a game for sure and upset somebody, but every game they win in these playoffs is going to have to be a slug it out upset game. They're not. I don't think they're coming out of the AFC, much less winning a Super Bowl.
They just need to play a disciplined defense, which theoretically the Chargers have, but.
They need to play a disciplined defense, or they just need to play a team that's gonna I feel if the Ravens play the Patriots, you're gonna see basically an advanced version of the Bills game, which is gonna be a team that has a very good chance to beat the Patriots, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna score enough points, and the Pats will find a way. I'll be honest, I might have watched 1 Ravens game this year other than highlights. So,
well, the important thing is the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, well,
the first 10-week Ravens are totally different.
Do you think they're the 85 Bears? Because I literally heard that today.
No,
on
not
talk
quite.
radio. Well, not quite, but are they? Is this a generational defense and I just don't know it?
No,
that's what I don't.
But I think they're the best defense the league has seen in probably like the last 3 years.
Well, so what 3 years ago defense? The Seahawks? The Broncos?
That's what I'm saying. Like, since the Seahawks were really great. Like, the year after the Super Bowl.
Lamar Jackson right now is not Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Or even noodle arm Peyton Manning in terms of winning a Super Bowl.
I don't know about that one.
It is close on that front. But because Peyton was terrible and terribly overrated. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to believe. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I can't see it happening for them.
Yeah.
I can see it happening for the Patriots. I can see it happening for the Chargers and Chiefs. That's it realistically out of the. I mean, The Colts don't have a shot, I don't think.
I don't think so. I would not be surprised if they beat the Texans, though.
On paper, the Colts could make a run at it because Andy Luck is back, baby.
Yeah, dude, he's being talked about as a top 3 MVP candidate.
He might. I mean, they might put up 30 points each week until they're eliminated, but I don't know. They're another team I haven't watched enough.
I would arguably bet on them against the Texans this
Well,
weekend.
the Texans are also classic playoff choke artists, so
it's not only that, just like
and those teams know each other very well at this point.
The Texans struggle to generate offense against good defenses.
Are the Colts a good defense this year?
Yes. They actually.
Why are we watching the Spurs game in slow motion right now?
I don't know. But yes, the Colts have a very good defense. And the Texans, ever since Will Fuller went out in like week 8, have struggled to generate points against good defenses.
I mean,
and it's because they have DeAndre Hopkins. Who else is that? Deshaun Watson doesn't have a single other weapon. Their running back is Lamar Miller.
Hopkins is pretty nice, but I'm not going to pick him against Andrew Luck and the Colts offense.
Well, yeah, you just double cover him, and there's no one else. That was the value. Will Fuller is so valuable to that team. Because he opens up things for both of them.
Yeah.
He makes it so that safety can't just play on DeAndre Hopkins because Will Fuller can dust his guy over the top. And yeah, ever since they lost him, it's just up to DeAndre Hopkins to create space and make amazing plays in double coverage, or Deshaun Watson to run around until the play breaks down.
They're also, I feel like they're fundamentally a chokey team as well. I don't think the Texans have
I don't
balls.
think we have enough of these Texans to say.
How different are these Texans from the ones that get dusted by the Patriots every year in the playoffs?
Well, they have a new quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see about him. But he did, that's not fair. He did ball in the end of the season this year for a good portion of it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know who to compare him to, really, like a historical example, but I feel like he's almost at his peak. He's not at his ceiling, but that's as good as he's going to play, I feel like.
I don't know. He's only in his second year. Why can't he get better?
You're right. Because I don't like the Texans, and I've given up on Bill O'Brien. That's why. Because Bill O'Brien's a dummy, I think.
But the Texans rattled off like 10 straight games after an 0-3 start.
Sick. The NFL's wonky.
It is.
And
but I still think the Texans are a good team.
I'll give you a good team. They make the playoffs every year, but also
they're better than the Texans of old.
Maybe. I don't know. That remains to be seen.
They're no worse than the Texans of old, and they have the best quarterback the Texans have ever had.
They have to prove it to me. They still have to prove it to me because, yes, they are. But you're right. They're better because they can't be worse. So they're better than the Texans of old. But they still have to prove to me that they're even like a good team and not just like going to be the second decent record in the AFC South every year. Because that's like this team with the second decent record in the AFC South makes the playoffs every year. The Titans almost did it, and the Colts did it. They just feast on each other's mediocrity, season after season. So whenever one of them gets good, another one of them just slacks.
The Colts and the Texans aren't mediocre anymore.
The Colts and the Texans aren't, but I think they are still pretty mediocre. Because I feel like the great teams in the AFC right now are just good.
I guess.
If Gronk and Edelman had been what they have been for the Patriots this season, I feel like they would have been, 13-3 and the 1 seed solidly in the AFC, and they're not that, they're totally regular by their standards.
Yeah.
The roster was not talented enough going into the season, I said, but if they had gotten just regular contributions from their guys, it would have been.
Yeah.
Adrian Claiborne was a 0. Dante Hightower was a 0. All these guys didn't show up, and they still are, 11-5 and a 2 seed. There's a lot of room this year for somebody to and in the NFC, it's not that different.
I think the Patriots got better play out of their defensive backs and their running game than they expected.
Well, so running game, I would say the offensive line this year, because it was a concern going in, because they paid Marcus Cannon, who's been good at times, disastrous at other times. They replaced Nate Solder with Trent Brown. They have young guys on the interior other than the center, David Andrews, who's just been there his whole career. And then they come in this season and they're just driving guys out of the way. I mean, their run blocking and the other thing that is getting lost in the Sony Michel argument and all that type of stuff is that James Devlin, the fullback, Gronk, and Dwayne Allen are having fantastic blocking seasons. Which, yeah, I mean, exactly. You laugh. So they're not going to talk about it on SportsCenter, but at the same time, it's it's a huge part of the game. And when you watch these plays, it's every time Sony Michel has a good run, Devlin's literally right in front of him, blasting someone out of the hole, and then Sony can make one cut and he's gone. Trent Brown has been pancaking DBs, pulling her. I mean, he's 6'8", 350 or whatever. He's literally a monster. So when they pull him and he ends up with a safety in front of him, he's like, physics apply, and he pushes the guy to the ground. So they have athletic guards in I'm spacing on the Joe Tooney and Shaq Mason. Andrews has been they're doing a really good job blocking it up this season. Michelle, I will say, with Devlin to show him what hole to hit, Michelle, and teach him to run vertically. Michelle has been quite good enough, not good enough to be a first round pick, but good enough to be a running back in the league. And James White can play. Burkhead has been a contributor the last couple of weeks. The run game has been good, but I would attribute it largely to the offensive line and blocking of the team. And the O-line is like almost my number one positive takeaway. Although you did also hit on the DBs, and they've been, I don't know how Jason McCourty and JC Jackson are doing it, but they're hanging on and playing pretty good. It's really scary at times. There's a lot of plays where I'm like, don't throw the flag, but they're hanging on and they're getting it done. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. And it's the Patriots, so I'm not going to be surprised if they win a Super Bowl this year and just fight their way through the slop. Well, no, I will be surprised, but not shocked.
Yeah, I'd put them as the 5th most likely team.
That sounds right to me. I would go. To me, I think the Saints are my front runners right now.
I would say Saints, Bears, and Rams all before anyone in the AFC.
I don't think Trubisky can get it done against. I just think their defense is really good, but I still think you're gonna have to score points in the Super Bowl. And Trubisky is.
He put up 24 points against the Minnesota Vikings. Is that not enough points for the Bears?
The Vikings are. I mean, I don't know if they're on the list, but they're the biggest disappointment in the league.
Yeah, but their
year.
defense is still good. Still the 7th ranked
team was just their defense was, their team was so bad that I don't know. I'm just saying. I didn't feel like the Patriots win against them.
If Trubisky can put up 24 points, I think that's enough for the Bears to win, and I think he can put up 21 to 24 points.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, they have to win 4 times, scoring 24 points a week, which I think they're going to get knocked out. I mean, they're another team that I think has a very good chance to go on a run.
The Eagles. Fly,
No, dude.
Eagles,
No.
fly.
Jeremy, if they do it, oh my God.
Eagles Patriots rematch. Nick Foles.
I won't watch. Dude, I would I straight up would almost not watch if it was Nick Foles again. If he makes another deal with Satan and goes on another just unbelievable backup run, dude.
I'm hoping the Eagles win because I want a Seahawks Eagles NFC Championship in Seattle.
That sounds unbelievably brutal, dude. No. Can we please not?
Yeah.
Seahawks Eagles.
Yeah.
Out of all the team, like, no offense, but those are almost like the two least compelling teams to me. Well, no, that's not even true. That's not true at all. And sorry, everybody. But they're like the two teams I would least want to watch in the Super Bowl coming out of the NFC, realistically. I would much rather watch the Rams or the Saints in the Super Bowl, for sure.
Yeah, same.
No one else is coming out of the NFC, right?
Well, the Rams or the Saints?
Or the Bears or Seahawks. It's going to be one of those four. Oh, sorry, or the Eagles. But no, the Eagles aren't doing it. There's no way, dude.
I don't think so.
There's no way.
I mean, I'd put the Bears, Saints, and Rams as heavy favorites, and I'd put the Saints and Bears a tier above the Rams. I just don't think the Rams have the defense. And I don't
they're quietly a disappointment to me as well this year.
Well, they're a classic example of having not enough depth. Literally, they lose a wide receiver and they have to change their whole offense.
Yeah.
Because they don't have another wide receiver that they think is like a worthy substitute. They're
Well,
all right, we're down to 3 wide receivers now.
It also shows you like how dependent their offense is on like the plays and them having like this thing set up that works for Jared Goff to throw to that guy. It's not like a system where they like make these reads and somebody's going to end up open. It's like they have these plays designed for these guys, and once Cooper Kupp goes down, it's like, well, half of our offense was designed around him plus one other guy, so now we have to throw everything out the window.
They're going to need Todd Gurley at 110%. And he's been banged up.
Yeah.
He has the week off. And they lost Andrew Whitworth.
What happens when you depend on a running back, Jeremy? They get injured.
Yeah.
Every time.
Most of them.
It's a problem, dude. It's a disposable position.
But...
And Andrew Whitworth, yes, I'm all for O-line play, man. TNT, please help us. I'm trying to legally watch this game right now. You're not making it easy.
But, yeah.
Oh, great. Another Champions League ad, Jeremy.
Why are we watching Bones?
We're not watching Bones.
It
TNT
says
is
Bones.
tripping, dude. We're supposed to be watching, which, by the way, the Spurs are actually have been winning this game pretty good, which makes me feel better about the Celtics getting whooped by them the other night. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think they've been really turning it around the last couple of weeks.
Oh, there is so much NFL. We can't be talking about the NBA right now. What am I doing?
We're basically still on the Patriots.
I know, exactly. Yeah, so I don't feel like I need to talk about the games that much. The Steelers game was big. The Steelers were terrible this year. That's too strong, but not by that much. You
know what's crazy? You know what's absolutely crazy? So the Steelers had the 4th total overall offense and the 6th total overall defense. Those are Super Bowl numbers.
That's ridiculous. That's so bad.
How does that even happen?
And the number 1 overall dumbest coach.
How is that possible?
Probably not even. They probably don't even have a top 5 dumbest coach. Wow. Oh, Mavs Celtics tomorrow, Jeremy. On ESPN.
Are you pumped?
I'm going to watch. I've been missing too many chances to watch the Celtics. 107.85 San Antonio. That's what I like to see. Sorry, football. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm pretty much done actually with the Patriots. My main thing is just that it was a weird season. They've been unbelievably.
I wanted to. How do you feel about both Tom Brady and Gronk in the future?
Oh, yeah, you can't feel good. I mean, like I said,
Well,
Gronk
do
is
you
done,
even?
dude.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty certain he's gonna retire.
Whoa,
But
and if he doesn't, he's done no matter what. But
yeah, but if you had control, would you want Tom Brady to retire?
well, that depends. Am I going into next year with Brian Hoyer and Danny Etling if he retires? Because no.
Let's say
Or we're
you
signing
know by the
Kaepernick. Like, what's the plan?
let's say you know
Jeremy?
by the draft.
No. I mean, maybe last year if they could have traded Gronk for another first and had 3 firsts to go
Yeah.
trade up and get Baker or
Classic
something.
example of Belichick seeing it coming.
It's so
He's
sad,
like,
dude.
hey, Gronk sucks now. We should dump him.
So the Boston FM show I listened to a bunch, they talked about a rumor that Belichick was trying to, well, I don't even know if it was a rumor or just an idea they floated, that Belichick would have tried to flip the Gronkowski first with the other 2 they had for the Browns second to go up and get Baker. Which
Well, there was that like noise that the Patriots really liked Baker.
I think they liked him, I believe it, honestly. I mean, he's the guy. He's definitely the kind of guy that McDaniels would like, and I think I can't tell if he has a role in the.
God, could you imagine Tom Brady and
if they had traded 3 firsts to get Baker,
yeah,
mortgage the future of the right now future of the team for Baker. Yeah, that could have been 3 first-round defensive players, and instead they get one quarterback. Well, that's the thing. They would have had to know he was going to retire. Like the owners, Kraft wouldn't have let it happen at this point. That's the problem. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm so conflicted on it. It's so weird because the guy's my childhood sporting hero. Like he's the winningest, greatest athlete I watched growing up.
greatest athlete.
Well, greatest sports player. What do you want me to say, dude? Like he's the greatest at the hardest position in sports ever, and he was the best player on my favorite team my entire childhood. Like he took over the starting job when I was 4 years old. I sit here at 21 and we're talking about, is he going to be done? Like the guy, he's the definition of a generational player.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's also a weirdo, and now he's very old, and he's way too powerful for a football player. Well, think about it, man. It's a league. Like, it's one thing if you're LeBron and like you're in a league where like that's kind of how it works. That's always been kind of how it works. But in the NFL, like your players aren't supposed to have power, especially not players under Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady can veto trades now, apparently. So it's weird. That's my takeaway, man. I'll write it on the notepad. It's probably gonna be the title, something about that, because it's weird. The Patriots, it's all weird now. I mean, starting with Brady skipping OTAs, that was weird. Well, you said on the podcast, we talked about how it wasn't a big deal. Well, I said it was a big deal at the time, and in retrospect, I think it was a big deal because it was weird. That's not what they do. Especially not him. He goes to work. That's what he always has done. He goes to work. He gets the parking spot. He's the guy who's at practice the longest. Not riding camels, exactly.
I'm sure that's super legible.
It'll work for me. What do you think about the Seahawks, Jeremy? You want to talk about this season much, or you really just want to get into the playoffs with them?
I don't know. We haven't talked since the Chiefs game, so.
True, that Chiefs game, which you were a part of.
Yes, I was there.
And it was, I assume, a good sporting experience.
Yes,
for you.
It was pretty cool.
Yes.
Did you watch that game?
Negative.
There were a lot of real crazy plays.
I did not watch it. What were the craziest plays?
Doug Baldwin had 2 crazy catches, one for a touchdown and one to the 1 yard line. One was like a back shoulder flip around and like got his elbow down. And the other one was just a one-handed grab down to the 1 yard line with like 2 minutes left, up a field goal.
I did see that play.
Yeah, actually, the Seahawks got the ball back with like 3 minutes left, up 3. And then Russell hit Tyler Lockett on like a 50-yard bomb that he dropped out of a helicopter. Just like sky ball, moon ball.
That's pretty legit.
And then like 2 plays later, hit Doug Baldwin on the one-hander down to the 1. And then Chris Carson punched it in to seal it in.
I saw the one-handed catch for sure.
So yeah, that was super lit.
How's the traffic?
It took like almost 3 hours to get back to the Mercer Island parking ride.
Are you excited for NHL in Seattle?
I feel the same about it, which is I like down and I'd have it rather than not, but I don't think I'll really end up caring.
But what's traffic going to be like?
Oh, who knows?
I guess Key Arena probably only seats like 12,000 people anyway. Who cares?
I think it was like 19,000
For NBA?
Yeah.
So probably...
It was the smallest stadium in the NBA.
For NHL, it's going to be like 16 probably. Still.
Nah, I bet it'll be full.
Well, the rink is bigger. They have to take like some space.
True.
Yeah, so it has to be like some less seats. It's always like the NHL iteration of any stadium is always a little less seats. F you, Kawhi, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boo, down with Kawhi, and whoever that guy is, he's weird looking.
He is weird looking. That dude has a huge forehead.
Dude, I don't know like half of these Spurs players. Hello, ladies. Hello, girlfriend. Girlfriend of the podcast, Diana Ramos.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know. The Seahawks season's still really a, 9 out of 10 so far.
Sort of a regular old-fashioned Seahawks season at this point. This is what it's going to be from now on, so... I guess not regular old-fashioned, but this is like...
Yeah, not old-fashioned because the Seahawks sucked
Yeah.
till like 2004.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this season has been a resounding success, and anything that happens from here is, gravy. But I do really hope we beat the Cowboys because, 1, I think we're a better team than them, and 2, they're the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys.
I mean, losing to the Cowboys is... Yeah, that would be... I don't know. Inexcusable is the wrong word, but...
We're not... The Cowboys are favored.
I know, but that's why I said it's the wrong word, but it would be terrible. You don't want to lose to the Cowboys, Jeremy. Dak
I know.
and the clapper.
Yep.
The Cowboys.
Yep. But they got a defense now.
Those rookie linebackers, dude.
Oh, and they have good DBs.
If the Pats would have drafted a linebacker, oof.
I mean, the Cowboys are they really don't have a weakness on their defense.
If Jawan Bentley didn't get hurt,
they have a decent pass rush. They have very good linebackers, and they have good DBs. So there's really not a point of their defense you can pick on. If you're the Seahawks, you're going to do what you always do. You're going to try and run the ball and set up play action. And I think it can be successful because I still think we can run the ball pretty well on them.
It's not really a great matchup for the Seahawks, though, actually, I don't think.
I don't think the Cowboys are a great matchup for anyone. Like I said, I think their defense is pretty complete.
That's fair. But I mean, I just look at the Seahawks and how they have to win games now in a possession way, and it's like that's the Cowboys are going to play a possession game with you just fine. They don't care if you want to slow it down. They're going to hand it to
Yeah,
Zeke 50
they
times.
are us.
Yeah.
They have the same strategy we do.
That's-
But that they have the better defense and we have the better quarterback.
Well, those are equalizers. You also have the better coach because your guy is a gum chewer and not a clapper, which I'd rather have a gum chewer than a clapper.
Yeah, and he's also, like won playoff games and Super Bowls and stuff.
As opposed to being an idiot.
Yes, crucial distinctions.
Although, no, Pete Carroll's not an idiot. He's a decent coach. Is there... I don't know. Should we do like NFL playoff picks?
Sure.
Is that a thing to do? Okay, I got the playoff.
Who do you like
picture.
in the games this weekend? First one is Colts Texans.
I think I'm going Colts.
Me too.
There.
Then Seahawks Cowboys.
I need to hang on. We're at 36 minutes in. I need to put the little picks board up on the thing. This is a challenge to myself from an editing perspective. So we've got Colts times 2. The other AFC game,
Chargers.
I'm going Chargers over Ravens.
Same.
Raven, that one is tough. That one is tough for me. The Ravens, I think the Ravens are a team that might get hot, but the Chargers to me are the most complete team in the AFC. So everyone's gonna have a hard time beating them, and the Ravens are not that good, I don't think.
But the Ravens did just beat them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's fair. But the playoffs are a different beast.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but whatever. You got the Seahawks over the Cowboys, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, Seahawks. I have to agree. Just on the the Cowboys are. I don't believe in them, and the Seahawks. I think at the end of the day, they're gonna be a tough team no matter what, and I think Russ can get them out of some situations that if the Cowboys fall into, it's game over for them. Partly because
if we get up 10 points.
Yeah, exactly. And it's partly because of Dak, but also partly because of the Clapper and the way their offense is constructed and everything.
Yeah.
The last wild card game, I think it's obviously Bears over Eagles, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm picking the Bears, but
So we're unanimous in
Nick Foles, dude.
We're unanimous in everything. But yeah. So that's the wild card. If Foles sells his soul to the devil again, then the Eagles might be in the Super Bowl. But other than that, they're probably going to be out in the wild card round. Assuming our unanimous picks go the way they go.
We like the lower seed in 3 out of the 4 games.
True. No.
Yes. Colts, Chargers, Seahawks.
Yeah. I forget about the divisional thing with the Ravens and the Chargers. So anyway, if our picks play out, then the matchups correct me if I'm wrong here. We're looking at the playoff picture. Then the matchups in the divisional round would be Colts, Chiefs, and Chargers, Patriots in the AFC, and then it would be Seahawks, Saints, and Rams, Bears.
Yep.
So I think we're potentially looking at a Saints, Bears, NFC, and the AFC is hard to pick to me, but I want to say it's going to be Patriots, Chiefs in the AFC.
That's exactly what I think too.
So what's
that Chargers Chiefs or Chargers Patriots game though? Also another real toss up.
What is our Super Bowl pick then, Jeremy?
Well, we have to.
Who's going to be there?
Game.
Who's going to be there?
I'd have to go. Man, I think Saints Chiefs. I'd have to say.
It's weird. I like to go with my gut over the way that things are going and have been, but for once my gut agrees. I think the two teams that have seemed like kind of the best teams in their respective conferences for the longest part of the season, which this is the way it tends to end up, but I think they're probably going to end up playing it out. And I tend to think the Saints are going to win just by virtue of the experience they have in the situation.
We have exactly identical playoff brackets.
We literally picked everything the same.
That's crazy.
Sort of. I mean, I don't feel like anything was that controversial.
No, but there were a lot of 50-50. There wwere like 3 or 4 50-50 ones.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also not that surprising that we tend to lean Patriots on this show, and you know, that's really only the Colts Texans one is like the Texans. I don't know, man. I just have a hard time with them. They've consistently let everybody down. Those teams tend to keep letting everybody down. All of the Steelers. Do you want to take a break?
Or I don't know. Do we have that much more football left? We have all of the Steelers, I guess. So maybe we should take a break.
We haven't talked about the Steelers, and then we still have college football and basketball.
I guess we should probably take a break.
Yeah, we're at 42 minutes. So.
Word.
Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back with some breaking news as James Harden is apparently out for the season and potentially his career. No.
Career-ending injury right there.
Just kidding. He just got elbowed in the face and now he's crying. We are back on Thrown from the One.
Hey.
AKA the Grady Podcast. Now we're watching the Rockets-Warriors game.
Yep, super sick.
It's very hype, for sure. This M. Night Shyamalan commercial has played 1,000 times.
Also really sick.
Not that sick. Yeah, so we're going to finish off the NFL here in part 2 of episode 26. Like us on Facebook at Thrown from the One. For real, if you haven't done it, you have a Facebook.
For real.
For the sake of the succulent cam, man.
Upgrade the succulent cam just for the cast.
Or woman, but demographically probably man. Also, definitely subscribe to the YouTube and comment. Thanks, friend of the podcast, Henry Dunn. But it would be cool. It would be cool to get a comment from a non-friend of the pod, like someone who hasn't been on the show. Comment on the show.
Yeah.
Would be sweet.
A thumbs up even.
Yeah. Yeah, an emoji, man. Like, drop a fire emoji, guys. That's a Twitch streamer thing to... Can you guys donate to our Patreon for a 4K camera?
We want a red 8K camera.
Yeah, dude. I'll post a link to the GoFundMe in the description. Anyway. The NFL, we set the table for the playoffs. The last thing on our list is the Steelers drama, which is popping up in the last week because we do love drama on this show and talking about it mostly.
Especially Steelers drama.
Steelers drama is a good kind of drama. It's one of the best forms of NFL drama.
Classic Steelers.
Followers of the show know that I hate Mike Tomlin. Hate is too strong, but
I wish he was dead. Nah.
I wish he
ripped apart limb from limb by 4 horses.
I'll put it this way: as a fan of the Patriots, I'm happy he has not been fired yet. And if I was a Steelers fan, I would be picketing for his firing. Because the guy is a disaster. Just look at how much snot winds up in his beard.
Get him out.
It's too much.
Get him out.
It's too much, dude. He's a grown man.
I haven't seen any snot in his beard this season. Maybe snot is the key.
Well, because snot does indicate fieriness.
Yeah, maybe he needs more snot in his beard.
Well, he needs more fieriness, which would, as a side effect, there would be more. I don't know that he needs more snot in his beard, but there would be more snot if the Steelers were a better team. But also maybe the fieriness isn't the problem. I mean, okay, basically the point is here. Oh, James Harden's getting concussion protocol.
Classic.
Sick. The point is here. Antonio Bryant didn't play in Week 17. Antonio Bryant. Wow. I don't even know where that came from. Antonio Brown didn't play in Week 17 for the Steelers.
Yes.
Which was pretty much a surprise to everyone, right? Like, no.
Well, no, he was on the injury report all week.
So what's the deal with him?
So basically,
educate me, Jeremy.
He came in apparently Wednesday of last week complaining of soreness, like in his knee. And then during walkthrough that day, the report is that he got mad at Big Ben and stormed out of practice. But that hasn't been confirmed by anyone.
Reported
on the
by
Steelers. Who? I don't know, Adam Schefter. But no one on the Steelers reports.
You can't just default to Shefty. All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
All I know is that no one from the Steelers verified that part.
Well, no kidding.
But so Mike Tomlin did say all the rest of this. So he did.
Wait, Tomlin said that
everything
Brown stormed out.
No, so everything besides the practice incident, Mike Tomlin has verified that I'm about to say. So he came in Wednesday complaining of a sore knee. The reports are he left practice that day. Mike Tomlin ordered him to get an MRI on Friday when he came in still complaining of soreness. He skipped out on his MRI, went MIA from the team Friday and Saturday. No one could get a hold of him. And then on Sunday morning, Antonio Brown's agent called Mike Tomlin and said he was feeling better and that he could play, and Mike Tomlin decided he was not going to play him.
So, is this like widely reported at this point, or has Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin has said every single
is Tomlin confirmed.
Everything except him leaving practice on Wednesday, mad at Big Ben, was said by Mike Tomlin in his press conference today.
So
which I watched the whole half-hour press conference.
So it was a coach's decision at the end of the day that he didn't play.
Yeah, because he had been out of contact with the team for 2 days.
Not a good thing to do in Week 17.
After complaining of an injury. So on Saturday, when they couldn't get a hold of him, they decided that he wasn't going to play. And then Sunday morning, his agent called Tomlin and said he was feeling better and willing to play, and Mike Tomlin said he wasn't going to play.
So Jason La Canfora is reporting that he has requested, 2 days ago, reported that he has requested a trade.
And Mike Tomlin also denied that they've gotten a formal request for a trade from AB.
So Antonio Brown cried to Jason La Canfora, or his agent did, or something about wanting out.
Well, so AB, George Kittle, tweeted at AB, sup, AB, and AB tweeted back the hard eyes emoji, and then someone on Instagram posted a picture of AB in a 49ers uniform, and he liked it.
He also unfollowed the Steelers on all social media. Not a good sign.
Petty.
Mega petty. Bucky Brooks on NFL.com posted an article about teams that should trade for AB. I mean, what a disaster, dude. What a disaster that is.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, number 2 playoff quarterback.
Foles over Brady.
Foles ahead of Tom Brady. How does that make you feel, Wuck?
I don't read NFL.com. Don't read NFL.com. Come on, the league. You're gonna get your don't listen to the league.
Ouch.
The league hates the Patriots. That's how I feel.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, they do, Jeremy. That's why the Patriots got in trouble for breaking the rule about having air in the ball.
What about the tuck rule? And
that was a correct call.
And the diving at the knees rule.
That just makes sense. You don't want Tom Brady out for a season. It's money. Nobody's making money then. That's just money making. That's not the league. I mean, that's nothing to do with personal issues. Everybody makes more money if Tom Brady's on the field versus Matt Castle. That Steelers thing is a disaster, Jeremy. It's amazing to me that Mike Tomlin is not Hugh. We should mention that Hugh Jackson got fired on this podcast.
Yeah. And Marvin Lewis.
And sorry, not Hugh Jackson, Marvin Lewis. I don't know why I just went back.
Well, because
to
they're
his
both
Bengals
on the
days.
Bengals.
Yeah. But Marvin Lewis finally got fired, Jeremy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a mirage when I got that notification.
It is hard to believe
I
somehow.
feel good for Bengals fans everywhere.
True. Finally, except for what happens now. Saban.
Yeah. Have you heard about one of the hot head coaching candidates for the NFL is apparently the USC offensive coordinator?
Steve Sarkisian.
No, he used to be.
I know, I'm joking.
Anyway, so he went 35 and 40 at Texas Tech as head coach, and then this season was OC at USC, and they only went like 6-6, and yet this dude is like the top head coaching candidates, and people think it's because he literally looks physically like Sean McVay.
He's a head coaching candidate because he looks like Sean McVay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I buy it.
I mean, he led a good program to an under 500 record, and then he led a great program to a 500 record.
But he looks like a business bro.
He looks like Sean McVay.
Like a business bro.
He looks like Sean McVay.
Both Josh McDaniels and Brian Flores are interviewing. McDaniels does every year, but the fact that Flores is strange to me.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's Belichick.
People are desperate.
And they like Belichick disciples, even though they never pan out. Do you want to do basketball or college football?
Basketball.
All right, dude. The Celtics are still the 5 seed, Jeremy.
Yeah, how does that make you feel, Walk? Do you cry tears?
It's not great. We're 37 games in for the Celtics now, which is not half the season, but it's just about half the season, Jeremy. And 22 and 15.
It's after Christmas, so it's the real season.
It's the real season, exactly. And the Celtics are 5 games behind the now first seed Bucks. And to be honest, it's getting harder and harder to say, yeah, I think they'll beat the Pacers in the playoffs. I think they'll beat the Raptors still. I think all these teams are just consistently playing well, and the Celtics find ways not to win randomly on a night-to-night basis. I mean, just look at all the teams up there. The Bucks, the 1 seed, are on a 4-game win streak. The Raptors had won 2 straight going into tonight. 5 straight for the Pacers. The 76ers are, well, bad example. The Raptors are 6-4 in their last 10, but the Celtics just can't put together strings of wins. And all of the issues which have been happening all season continue to exist. They've just offensively at times struggled to get anything going other than Kyrie beating his man and, sometimes Marcus Morris shooting threes or whatever. And defensively, the effort and focus hasn't been there for them compared to what it has been the last couple seasons. And they're just, they're not playing up to their talent right now. They're not playing to what has been their identity. And at this point, you look at them as the 5 seed, and it's just getting harder and harder for me to say that this isn't what they are. because it's we're
You are what your record says you are.
yeah, you are what you are at the end of the day, Jeremy, and they are what they are, which is not that good, apparently. Well, so actually, that's, you know what? I still think they can be much better than they are. I mean, the talent is still there, I think. It's just, so they've, Jaylen Brown has regressed. Terry Rozier has been not even close to the player he was in the playoffs last year, which was, I mean, people like Grady got carried away.
Scary.
The trade Kyrie crowd got carried away. But he wasn't, Terry hasn't, he's barely even been good this year at best. And they're 5 games back of the Bucks as it stands now. And the Bucks and Raptors are right there. And they're going to be on the road in a game 7 at some point in the playoffs. And it went from, it's quickly going from a season where I felt like they were going to find a way to put it together and be, if not the best team in the East, one of the best teams in the East that should have a very good chance at a finals run, to being like, well, maybe they can grind it out, but it's going to be a grind for them at this race. They're playing a grindy season, which I don't know. I mean, like we said, you are what you are at some point, unfortunately. I mean, they've lost. They've had some ugly losses. I mean, they've had some ugly wins too, but the loss to the Suns stands out.
Ouch.
Yeah, last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, you can't be losing to the Suns, man. And it was in a decently big spot for them, and you can't be losing to the Suns, period. Yeah, I think they very clearly, which I've said on the show, they very clearly have an identity problem at this point. They're not doing their thing, which is playing hard every night on a consistent basis.
Gordon Hayward dropped 35 off the bench last night.
Yeah, I saw Hayward had his best game of the season, offensively at least.
That's one of the best off the bench performances ever.
35 points off the bench. People score 35 off the bench. Is it?
Yeah.
Did you see that on SportsCenter or something?
Yep.
Well, I didn't watch. I was driving. I hope so, man. They need him to come around because he has been. It's painful to say because it was an injury, but disappointing, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, he was like one of the big free agent acquisitions, and he's been on the bench every game he's played, basically.
Yeah, he was supposed to be an all-star max player, and they got a decent 6-man, good 7th man. That's not what you spend that money for. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard for me.
I don't know any all-star that come off the bench, to quote the great Allen Iverson.
Calm down. It's getting harder and harder for me to feel good about that team, the Celtics. You wrote Lakers can't finish without LeBron on here, but
Yeah.
duh.
Well, just the last 3 games they've been like tied going like last 5, 6, 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, and they've lost all of them. And they've ended up losing by like 10 in all of them.
So Bron popped his groin, right?
Yeah. His MRI was clean, but they're, being overly cautious.
Well, so I heard it was basically a game-to-game basis, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's been out like 3 or 4 games.
So who cares? They're not.
They're the 8th seed, 21-17.
They're gonna make it,
Yeah.
right? So who cares?
But if they have to play, well, I was gonna say the Warriors, but the Nuggets in the
They're
first
gonna play the
round.
Nugs in the first round, dude. It's better this way.
I want to be the 7th seed.
They're only half a game back from the 6 seed Clippers, and I mean realistically, they're a game back from the 4 seed, so they're still right there.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing a LeBron team is going to miss the playoffs.
I don't think they will either.
Unless he misses significant games. And I also think their chances aren't going to hinge on... I mean, the Warriors thing is the problem, because when they run into the Warriors, their time is probably up.
The Warriors suck, Walk.
6-4 in their last 10.
That's mediocre at best.
They don't suck, but... I mean, do you think we're starting to see cracks in the dynasty?
I don't know.
Is there a chance?
I think there's as much hope this year as any of the last 5, but
Well, yeah. There's more.
and I think it takes a serious blow this off season, but I'd still obviously put them as the heavy favorite.
They have to be the favorite going forward this year as long as it holds together. Yeah.
But I do think it sounds like KD will leave this off season. I believe that
things aren't good there. I mean, you think, and the problem is in the NBA. In the NBA, all of the drama just, when you say something on the court, the professional lip readers have the transcript and
cameras,
and then everybody starts. Everybody in the NBA is Antonio Brown, and they're all unfollowing and following each other on all the social medias and commenting. Yep. And the NBA is the drama league.
Yeah,
at least in the American Big Four. What's the deal with college football playoff, Jeremy, and why should I care? Bama's just going to win anyway, right?
Clemson has a chance, but yeah, probably.
Why does Clemson have a chance? No one has a chance.
Why? Because they're Clemson.
Did they beat Bama this year?
No, but they've been in the Final Four each of the last 4 years, and they beat Bama in one of the 3 national championships.
Hasn't Bama been in the Final Four every year? It's been a thing.
I don't know about the very first year. I don't remember. Ohio State won the very first year, and I don't think it was against Bama, but every year since.
I mean, they weren't in the Final Four the first year?
No,
though?
they were definitely in the Final Four.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They make the playoff Bama's ridiculous. I mean, I have watched little to no college football this year. Well, Final Beat's coming on. Get out of here. But Bama has exclusively blown teams out, basically. So, I mean, and like...
They had to come back from 2 touchdowns down against Georgia in the SEC championship.
But
then Georgia lost to Texas in their bowl game this weekend.
What was the deal with
And
didn't they beat Oklahoma? What was it, like?
Texas?
No, Bama.
Yeah, Bama beat Oklahoma in the semifinal.
I know, but wasn't it like handily? What was the score? Oh,
I don't remember. They went
power
up.
Gonna go out, Jeremy?
They went up 28-0, and then Oklahoma, made it like 40-30 or something.
Yeah, I stopped watching before the comeback happened. Well, I guess I never really started watching because I checked and saw it was 14-0 Bama or whatever, and was like, well, this is what we're doing. But I just. Whatever. It's gonna be Bama. It might be sloppy, but it's gonna be Bama. It won't be sloppy. It might be high scoring, but it's gonna be Bama.
Probably.
Disagree. I dare you.
I don't disagree.
You gonna pick Clemson?
No.
Okay. Well,
and it's mostly because
we need to call Grady or something, dude. We
I don't
made
believe
all
in
the same
Clemson's
picks
offense. Today. I don't believe in Clemson's offense as much as I believe
in Bama's dominance.
Me too.
You just can't pick against them ever. It's dumb.
They always win.
It should be illegal to have Nick Saban in the FBS now.
Yeah, you should have to go to North Dakota State.
That would be even worse.
North Dakota State starts winning national championships.
Okay, Jeremy. Do you really want to talk about this Mariners signing? You don't even know the guy's name.
No, but I know he's a pitcher. And I know he's from Japan. And I know
Sweet, good start.
he was teammates with Wade LeBlanc for a while in Japan.
Wade LeBlanc played in Japan.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet. Thank you for joining us today on Throwing from the One, aka Gritty Podcast, aka Partycast. Go Mariners.
Do it for Paul Allen.
Rest in peace. Like us on Facebook at Throwing from the One. Subscribe on YouTube at Throwing from the One Podcast. Cheers.
Me.
I'm Walker. We're done.
Ian. Don't forget Ian.